Hello, everyone. This is Tony from the 80 Star Basketball Channel with your weekly auction report. Today is February 6th, getting ready for the Super Bowl, and some of us are fighting off this norovirus slash flu sickness going around. Hopefully, you're all not catching that. If so, I wish you speedy recovery. So, we had quite a few Jordan sales in addition, and that's across 101, 195, 288 in the last week. We had 3 sales of Stockton Olajuwon or Barkley, and we also had 10 sales of various 83 through 85 star team bags. But as always, if you want to have a card specifically mentioned, whether to review it for condition or you're thinking about purchasing it, whether you want to make it public or not, please let Ryan and myself know. You can always reach out to us on this channel. You can also contact us on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram. Page link is in the description. So starting with the 101, there were 7 sales in the last 7 days, and some of them were quite big. The first one went for $15,000. That was a BGS 4.5. I also noticed Probstein sold an authentic for $12,700. GIA 9.5. Some of these could really be diamonds in the rough. It all depends on when the card was graded. I know some folks like GIA graded cards, depending on they can go by when the card was graded with the type of flip on it. Just be careful, but some folks have really gotten great cards that way. Not just Star. I've seen some other cards, big time hobby cards, vintage and modern. $10,000 for a this was a roll card. When it comes to roll cards ungraded, you really have to know what you're doing. Let's just take a quick look at this one because it did catch my attention before, and there was some conversation about it on social media. First thing I always do is take a look at this, and this is why I wanted to review this card. So we talked about the print line a little bit running down the arm. You can see that, but you always got to take a look at the back too, because what do we see here? Reprinted by the Topps company. This was part of the 1996 NBA Star Set, which was a part of the anniversary that Topps had, and it was a 50th anniversary of the NBA. And they made it's a great looking set. The only problem is when you buy boxes or packs right now, they tend to stick together because of the coating. But if you're lucky enough to get a refractor, especially an atomic refractor or a card like this, they don't stick. So just wanted to point this card out where you always got to take a look at what you're buying. In this particular case, I would bet that the winner of the auction did not pay for it, and if they did, I'm pretty sure that the PSA eBay authentication rep's going to catch that. We also had a team bag sale that went. This was at Golden. It went for $24,400. This has MJ on the front of the bag. It's sealed. When I took a look at this auction, I noticed that a little bit of corner wear on it, but that got reflected in the price. Then we got the huge sale from Heritage. I'm not going to go into it enough, but that ended at $366,000 with all the juice and everything built in except for taxes. And at that same night, we had a BGS 8, which is part of a complete set that sold for $39,040. That was at Heritage too. We took a look at that in the past too. So those were the 101 sales. Coming up, I see 2 sales currently. This is an error on alt, but if you click on this, it actually takes you to a Frank Thomas eBay listing. So not sure why alt's picking this up. But we have a BGS 8 that's currently at $15,647 and on Golden. And we have a PSA 7 also on Golden. We took a look at these cards in the past, but time allows, let's take another quick look at them. Okay, so here we got the BGS 8, 7.5 centering, 8.5 edges, 8 corners, and 8 surface. So taking a look at this card real fast, I don't know who the owner is of the card. Just know that Golden's selling it. I'm going to go out and say this is a week 8, in my opinion, even by BGS standards. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but as part of me presenting on this channel, as does Ryan, we do give our honest opinion. This is not funded or sponsored by any outside sources, groups, companies. We're going to be completely honest with you. In my opinion, this would be a PSA 6, maybe. This should be a BGS, even with BGS padding of grades. It should be a 7 at BGS, but I think this is a car that's closer to excellent condition. We see the 4 corner wear here. This corner is pretty good. So there's 3 corner wear here. This ain't zooming in for me very well, but 1, 2, 3 corners. I do like the centering. I think that's one of the stronger points of the card, up to down, left to right centering. Just has a lot of wear to it, but it's a nice card, especially the eye appeal factor is unbelievable. I just think it's, more worthy of a excellent to maybe near mint condition. So I would put this around a PSA 6. If you take a look at the back is good, no issues there. A little bit of dirt over here, but again, we don't know if this is on the inner sleeve or it's part of the card. But eye appeal wise, 18 inches away, this car is looking good to me, even though I'll still be able to see the 3 of the 4 corner whites. Taking a look at this PSA 7, which is a nice comparison to the BGS 8. Not too much wear in this corner, a little bit of wear in this corner. Less wear on these 2 corners than 3 of the corners on the other card, on the BGS 8. Little bit of a thumb ding on the top or chipping. Not as bad as what we see on most cards. The back, I like the clean back. I don't see any staining. I don't see dirt. I don't see anything wrong with the back. The centering's nice. Again, we have a nice eye appeal card, which, like this one here, I have a feeling this is going to sell for quite a bit more than the BGS 7. So this card's currently at $28,500, and the BGS 8 is currently at $12,000. So not only is there a difference of BGS 8 versus PSA 7, but you're seeing a big difference in the price, and I think this will continue to show. Going on to the USA card, the 195. We had 2 sales of this card. One actually completed this morning. This is a raw card. Buyer beware, but we're going to count this sale. The raw card went for $1,499. We also had a Fanatics weekly sale this Sunday. It ended at $3,720, and this is a BGS 7. Going on to cards this week, I don't see any active. I see one active listing for a card on eBay. This is a PSA 6.5. Last time I looked, it didn't have any bids. Why don't we take a quick look right now? Yep, still don't have any bids. It has a buy it now price of $4,600, and it also is starting at nearly $3,000. So we don't have to talk about this one too much more. Regarding the 288, we had 3 sales in the last week. We had a PSA 6 here that sold on Fanatics Weekly for $4,680. February 2nd, same day, we had a BGS 7.5 sell for $4,800. So these cards are nearly the same price. I believe the eye appeal and the overall card for the BGS 7.5 was a little bit more appealing to say than the PSA 6. So I'm glad this card went for a little bit more. January 31st at Heritage. This is the same what we had before. The 288 was part of the complete set. Going for future sales, in the next week, we have a BGS 7 that's on eBay. This is a auction / buy it now. This is $10,000. Moving on up to the next card. We have the Stockton, the Barkley, and the Olajuwon. We had a total of 2 sales, I believe. We had this Olajuwon rookie PSA 3 sell for $549. And I wanted to take a quick look at this card and see why the card graded a PSA 3. Okay, so we also had a February 6th sale of a PSA 3, and it was actually a pretty nice 3. So this card had a corner wear, but the centering is pretty nice for this card. Went for a respectable best offer price. We also had on February 4th, we had a Charles Barkley PSA 7 sell for $1,250. And on February 4th, 4 sharp corners sold a John Stockton BGS 8.5. And this went for $795. Upcoming auctions, I saw one Barkley PSA 6 at $835. This is waiting for a bid. We also there's no John Stockton cards that are for sale currently, but I do want to talk about this John Stockton card after we're done with all the auctions report. Also have this Olajuwon. The seller still hasn't fixed the picture, so asking $985 for a 7.5 card without even a straight-on picture. That's not going to help. Going on to bags, something we haven't really talked about much. This is a pretty interesting topic. So there were 10 bag sales in the last week that I saw. I'll quickly go through these. We had a Houston Rockets 84-85 bag that went for $1,150. This Olajuwon looked pretty good. Denver Nuggets bag, same year, went for $152. We had a Washington Bullets from 84-85 factory sealed bag, went for $57. Clippers bag from 84-85 went for $82. On the same date, we have a couple more sales. We had a Hawks 84-85 bag with the second year of Dominique Wilkins, went for $255. Indiana Pacers bag with Clark Kellogg went for $44. We have an 83-84 short print LA Lakers team bag sealed, went for $1,125. February 1st, we had a Gatorade Slam Dunk bag with Jordan in it. This sold for $3,660 on Golden. Also had a February 1st sale for a Bulls team bag. This went for $24,400, and we already spoke about this. And on January 30th, we had a 83-84 New York Knicks bag sell for $758. There were 4 of these actually in the lot, so that's why it went for $758. Picture of this. And one last topic I'd like to talk about is the John Stockton card. This one does have condition issues right out of the factory. Due to where it was placed on the sheet, a lot of these cards come miscut, not trimmed, not tampered with. They're just how they were cut by the Star Company when they outsourced the sheet cutting. So you can get a Stockton in one of a couple ways. First way is like this card. You can get a Stockton that's perfectly cut. kind of rare. Doesn't always have to be a PSA 8, a 9, near mint. You can even find some lower graded cards, such as this excellent to mint card that has a perfect cut. So you see here, straight cut on the top, straight cut on the bottom. Then you can have another Stockton card that's miscut only from the top, and there'll be a little diagonal cut to it. So you'll see the cut going from low to high or high to low. And it may have a slight diamond cut to it. So this is the first kind. This is the third kind, which would be a card that's cut incorrectly on the top and the bottom. So even though this picture here is a little bit of an angle, you can see here in relation to where Beckett has the top holder seal, the bottom holder seal, and you can see the two sides. On this specific card, you see how on the R left, the card is closer to the end of the penny sleeve than on the right. And on the top, it's the opposite. The card actually increases in height from R left to R right. Whereas on the bottom, the card decreases in height, does the opposite, from R left to the right. So that's what we in the vintage world consider like a diamond cut. And sometimes diamond cuts are not just the top and the bottom, sometimes also side to side. Here's another instance of a Stockton card that I found with a unique cut. So you see how it's a little bit wavy over here? So the card's length actually increases in size from our left top corner to the top right. If you look at the bottom, it's laying straight on the inner PSA holder, and you see how the card gets shorter as we go from our left to our right. So this one has the factory miscut on both top and bottom. This one has the factory miscut on both on top and bottom. You can find plenty of examples where the factory miscut is just on the top. And then you have perfectly cut examples like this one that was sold at Golden with the autograph. This was actually a pretty nice sale. And not only, it sold for nearly $1,100 with Buyer's Premium, not just for the autograph, that was a big part of it, but also due to the cut. So just wanted to share this little bit of star tidbit. I have been lucky enough to have people help me with the education of star cards, not only how to identify counterfeits, but also how some cards have unique characteristics about them, like the Stockton with how it's cut and the Olajuwon with the centering from the same year. Well, everyone, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a nice weekend.